Well, crap. Crap. The Tennessee Titans get a win yesterday. Morale feeling a little bit better, feeling a little optimistic, a little hopeful, and now terrible news in the way of injuries. Two major injuries to two important players for the Titans that is going to sideline them for the rest of this season. And in the case of one of them, it might even sideline him for a little bit of next season as well. The first major injury is to Quandre Diggs with a foot injury. He is done for the rest of the season, and this is particularly tough news because the Titans just traded Elijah Molden before the season started, who was going to play safety. They chose to go with Diggs over him. They trade him to the Chargers, and now Quandre Diggs being out means that Mike Brown, who did make a nice play in overtime to defend a pass against the Patriots yesterday, that means Mike Brown's going to have to play a lot more. I'm not sure that Mike Brown is an every down safety, though. He can do some good things, but I don't think he is a good option to be a consistent starter. But the Titans really don't have anybody else to put back there beside Amani Hooker at this particular time. Quandre Diggs has been playing pretty well for the Titans this season, a lot more good than bad probably, and a lot of people are going to be upset because Quandre Diggs was a potential trade candidate for the Titans that they could possibly get a late round draft pick for. That's obviously not going to happen now. I hate the news for Quandre Diggs. Again, had been playing well, and now he is out for the remainder of the season. He's here on a one-year deal, so there was a good chance he was not going to be back with the Titans next season anyway, but now he's not going to be back with the Titans this season. I would imagine he has taken his last snap with the Tennessee Titans, and sure hurts that now he is not an option to trade, but obviously the most important thing is his health. I hate the news for Quandre Diggs, who is having a good season, and I hope all the best for him with his foot injury as he works back from that. The other major injury for the Tennessee Titans, as announced today officially, center Lloyd Cushenberry, who the Titans paid big money to come in and play center this year, and he's done a good job, been consistently good for the Titans, tore his Achilles yesterday, and that, of course, means he is done for the season as well, and that is a huge blow for an offensive line that was getting better, and we could see it every single week with the exception of right tackle. Everything was getting better on the Titans' offensive line, and now Lloyd Cushenberry done for the remainder of the season, and this is especially significant because it is a torn Achilles, and these are long recoveries, and this could leak over into next season as well. Who knows? It varies, but these things typically have a longer recovery time, so who knows when Lloyd Cushenberry will be able to join the fold again. He is scheduled to be back with the Titans next season. Hopefully, he'll be ready to go by then, but that's a long way off. As for this season, he is done. And this means that likely Daniel Brunskill, who started at right guard yesterday for an injured Dylan Radins, is going to have to move over to center for the remainder of the season. You can do a lot worse than Daniel Brunskill at center, but I hate this for Lloyd Cushenberry, and I hate it for this offensive line that was really starting to gel. If you exclude the right tackle position, everybody else on this offensive line, even with Dylan Radins at right guard out yesterday, he's been playing better. Latham and Skoronski on the left side have been playing well, and Lloyd Cushenberry, kind of the veteran player on this offensive line at center, was kind of holding it down. He has been referred to as a leader on this team, and now he's going to be out for the remainder of the season, and that is just a huge blow. Not necessarily that Daniel Brunskill can't step in at center and play well, because I do believe he can, but Lloyd Cushenberry was solid. He was consistent. He was reliable. I think we saw Corey Levin get in at center yesterday with some high snaps. So you don't take that sort of thing for granted. Lloyd Cushenberry, I don't think, had any snap trouble up until this point in the season. So it's tough news to hear. Tough news for J.C. Latham. Tough news for Peter Skoronski and Dylan Radins and those young guys on the offensive line because, like I said, Lloyd Cushenberry was the leader of this offensive line because he was the veteran, and now he's going to be done for the rest of the season. So that's a huge blow. In morale, I think, for this offensive line, I hope that they can bounce back and play well against the Chargers on Sunday. We will have to see, but hate the news for Lloyd Cushenberry. I hope that, like I said, he is able to rejoin the fold as soon as possible, not just for the Titans, but for him. I know he wants to be out there as well. As the trade deadline approaches, just because the Titans won yesterday, don't think that they shouldn't be active at the trade deadline. The Arizona Cardinals were a potential home for Arden Key, but now they've gotten an edge rusher from the Broncos, so it looks like the Cardinals are out on the Arden Key, Harold Landry front. I said this today on my podcast, Two Tone Talk, episode 118. You can go watch it now. If I'm the Titans, I would not trade Harold Landry. I repeat, I would not trade Harold Landry. You are already so weak at edge rushers. Harold Landry's a good edge rusher. And if you get rid of, Arden Key's probably not going to be back on this team next year anyway. If you get rid of both of them, then you're just starting from scratch. And now you need multiple edge rushers through free agency and the draft and trade and whatever. If you keep Harold Landry, at least you have somebody to kind of hold down that edge rush department for the Titans next year. So if I'm them, unless you get a deal you cannot refuse, I would not trade Harold Landry. I would, however, seek a trade for Arden Key. I kind of wonder if the Titans are asking for too much for Arden Key. I'll tell you this, Arden Key has had a pretty good season so far for the Titans. I think he's been much better this season than he was last season with the Titans. So Arden Key, I do think there will be a home for him somewhere out there. It's just, will it be an offer that the Tennessee Titans are willing to take? I don't really see anybody else on this roster that I think anybody would be jumping at. The Titans should not trade Jeffrey Simmons. You guys are insane for even insinuating that. Not just because Jeffrey Simmons played well yesterday, but because Jeffrey Simmons can play well for this organization for the next couple of years. Why would you not want Jeffrey Simmons and Tavondre Sweat together on the interior defensive line for the next couple of seasons? I just don't understand why, when you want to get draft picks, I understand that, but you don't give up guys who can be very critical to the future of this team over the next couple of seasons just because you want a couple of extra draft picks. The Titans should not trade Jeffrey Simmons. Unless they get an offer they can't refuse, they should not trade Harold Landry. And then you have to get one edge rusher to complement that defensive line next season. Sebastian Joseph Day could be traded for a late round pick, but I don't know. I thought Sebastian Joseph Day had a really good game yesterday. Tyler Boyd, people have mentioned, I don't think you're getting anything for Tyler Boyd. I don't think you're getting anything for Treylon Burks, especially since Treylon's on IR. But I guess stranger things have happened. Nobody is trading for Calvin Ridley. Nobody's taken on that contract. Same with Jeffrey Simmons, by the way. Even if you wanted to trade Jeffrey Simmons, nobody is taking on Jeffrey Simmons' contract, and there's no point in even talking about it. The Tennessee Titans at 2-6, two major injuries, trade deadline approaching, decisions to be made. Two Tone Talk podcast right here live, filling you in.